What's going on, everybody? This is Lauren with the TMF Podcast. And I haven't made some videos on this channel in a while. And it's just because I haven't really been in the right headspace to make them. Um, I've been pretty stressed out and I've let life kind of kick me in the ass. That's the reality of it. And I thought today I would make a video and post this before I went off into the shop and face the shit show that's happening up there. Um, for those of you who don't know, I mean, I'm closing my motorcycle business, closing up the bike shop in about 7 weeks. And it's really just kind of setting in. Like I've done this for 18 years, and it's just kind of now setting in that I'm going to walk away from it, which I've needed to do for some time. I've been burned out. And so I'm making this video for someone who is maybe out there, who's maybe feeling the same way I'm feeling. Because I listen to clips on YouTube. I listen to mostly Joe Rogan montages that I like to listen to, and it puts me in a better headspace in the morning. Some days you wake up and it feels like the world is just holding you down. Like the weight of the world is just on top of you, and it's hard to even get up and get out of bed and face the day, thinking of 1,000 things that you need to do today. And in a way, I guess I'm a little bit fortunate that I can just lay there and lay defeated. If I go into the shop at 7 a.m. or noon, it's kind of all the same to me. I don't have to be there. If you have a regular job, you work for somebody else and you have to show up on time, getting there could be, you show up in the state of mind that's not good for anybody. And throughout what I've been going through, it's been work related, it's been life related. It's been struggling with spending time with my kids, doing stuff that inspires them, all while at the same time, in the back of my mind, feeling like I'm just letting everyone down. Like when I struggle at work, when I struggle with something, I feel like I let people down. And sometimes I just have to stop and I have to regroup and I have to figure it out. And I know that I can figure it out. Sometimes the answer is not so simple. And, my relationship with the woman I love more than anything is kind of blown up in my face overnight. And I'm trying to pick up the pieces. And in my head, I know that I can't do anything about it. I can't change certain things in my world that are, you know, a concern in her world. And that's tough. And I know that she's going through a tough time and I want to be there for her and I can only do what she will allow me. So I'm really struggling with that. I mean, it feels to me like if you have somebody who in your life who is, we'll just say, fragile, in a state where they at their point in their life they are fragile. And when someone is like that and they just trip up a little bit, they can break. And picking up the pieces is like picking up broken glass. You're probably going to get cut and it's probably going to hurt and you're going to bleed and it's not going to feel great and you're going to be upset and might get mad. You might get angry, and you just have to remember that it's just today. It's not forever. And maybe in this life we part ways and we don't come back to one another. That's possible. Um, but I've talked to some people in my circle. I don't have a lot of friends. I have a handful of people that I even talk to about stuff like this. Period. And the thing is that when you seek advice, emotional advice from people who have no emotional skin in the game, the answer that you're going to get is going to be all over the board. Look, it's not working out. All right, well, go do you. You do you. You focus on you. You be happy. Don't worry about that. Which is easy to say. Look, I can tell you that right now. Whoever's out there listening to this, I can tell you the same thing. If you're going through some shit with somebody and you don't know what to do, it's easy for me to say, hey, man, just move on. There's somebody else out there, somebody else, but I don't know your pain. I don't know what you're going through and how you feel. I only know how I feel. When it comes to you, I feel nothing. That's the reality. And when you ask people around you and try to talk to them, and someone offers you that advice, I hear it, but I don't listen to it, because I know what hurts me. And I'll tell you this, I'm a pretty strong individual, and I stay happy most of the time, and I stay optimistic most of the time, and I don't live in the rearview mirror. I don't look back and go, oh my God, this is all that it's going to be. This is the end, like sometimes I'll look at it and I will learn from it. Like, man, I wish I would have done this instead. And then today, when that opportunity arises, if it arises, that is what I do. I do that instead. I adjust, there's little things in life that will change your life. It change your mindset. And it's hard. It's hard to break habits. It's very difficult to break a habit and get used to a new normal. It's extremely difficult. I find it sometimes just to be almost impossible. And I'm going to do better at writing things down, trying to follow through with the little things. I've thought about this video for days, and I didn't really know how to put it together. I just didn't. And, I listened to some podcasts, and I listened to some things that, just put my mind in the place where I said, I'm just going to go out there and talk to somebody. Because at the end of the day, whatever it is, we can get around it. You can fix it. You can better yourself. And you don't have to get out there, and you don't have to make a change today. You don't have to change your entire life today. You don't have to think like, well, I'm upset, I'm depressed, I'm unhappy, I don't like my job, I don't like my house, I don't like this, I don't like all of this. And all of that stuff comes barreling down on you at one time. And I know that because I live it, just like everyone out there. I live it. And it comes at you at once sometimes. So when I wake up in the morning, sometimes that's when it all hits me. It all comes at me at one time, a flood. And you cannot change all of it today. But what you can do is you can take a second and you can make a small change. You can say, you know what, today, instead of just getting up and running out the door, I'm going to make my bed. And I'm going to have breakfast. And instead of leaving the bowl in the sink, I'm going to wash the bowl and I'm going to put it away. I'm going to wipe off the counter. I'm going to do that before I leave. I'm going to take that extra 5 minutes. And I'm going to do those things today. I'm going to start my day off with that. If that's something you don't do, which sometimes I don't. Sometimes, look, I don't even eat breakfast. I don't even give myself the time in the morning to even address how I feel when I wake up. I just get up and go. And lately I've been trying to give myself that time. And dealing with the emotional issues that I'm having right now, it's tough. Like during the day, you can stay busy. You can. Once you get up and you get moving, you can stay busy and you cannot think about it. You cannot think about how sad you were yesterday, or if someone's going to call you or text you today, or if you're going to see that person that you miss so much. You can forget about all that because you're staying busy. You're staying focused on a thing at hand. But you will not forget it. And when you're at home, and you're alone with your thoughts, that's when you remember. That's when you know what you really feel. And you can choose to ignore it or you can choose to embrace it. And I often tell people that I embrace the suck. I know it's there. And then sometimes you got to put on a sad song that reminds you of that thing, that person, that someone. And you just got to sit there and you just have to embrace the suck. Play it over and over again until you cannot be more sad. And then get up and do something to move forward just a little bit. Do some push-ups, walk, go for a walk, do something. Watch a funny video after that. Watch, like write something. Whatever it is that you do something, but do not ignore the fact that you are sad. I learned in my life that you cannot be happy if you do not also embrace sadness. You will never know that you are happy unless you know that you've been sad. And it's one thing to say, oh, I've been there before. I've been, someone crushed me. Someone broke me down. So my heart was broken. I got mad at this person. Whatever it is, it's okay. If you don't experience it as you go through life, you'll never know what happiness is. Everything is much better after you're sad. And there's a clip that I listened to, and Rogan said something about, driving straight is boring. Driving straight down the road, just down a straight line, it can be so monotonous and boring. But if you were to lose control for just a second, and then, you almost run off the road, and then you start driving in a straight and narrow line again, that's the best feeling ever. And you'll never experience that unless you've had that oh shit moment. Sometimes in life, our relationships have these oh shit moments where, oh shit, man, maybe I did fuck up. Maybe I shouldn't have said that. Maybe I shouldn't have done this. And your ability to stay calm and to talk it out and to accept it and to move on is what makes all of it worth it in the end. It's what makes everything so much better. And ignoring it, I don't think ignoring it helps anybody. I think ignoring it makes where you go in your life less exciting. It doesn't make you respect yourself and what you've been through. And I'm not saying that you need to go out and go through hell just to somewhat make it. It's not what I'm saying. But if you're in a spot that you don't like, if you don't like your job, do something to better yourself. Do something to learn something. I'm constantly learning. I'm constantly learning new things. And I'm constantly on a hustle. And sometimes I get pushed down. Right now, my t-shirt sales are at the lowest they've probably ever been since I started making t-shirts. And I don't know what I need to do to turn it around, but I know that I'll figure it out. And the stock market's up and down. And instead of just accepting it, I learn every day. I watch videos, I read, I better myself to build a better life. And I would encourage you to do that, whatever it is. I want to encourage people to do what it is they want to do. You don't have to make a drastic change. You don't have to wake up today and quit your job and fucking burn your entire life to the ground. You don't have to do that today. But if you're in a position where you think there's no way I can ever get out of this, let me tell you something. You can. And I don't know if anyone watches my other podcast with Marshall Holmes, the Free as Fuck podcast, but I talked to Marshall a little bit about what was going on with me. He doesn't really know. Me and Marshall don't know each other that well, aside from that we do the show together and we talk about topics, and I thoroughly enjoy it. And, in Marshall's life, I feel like he's an onion that I've barely even started to peel. And just 3 months ago, Marshall was in a position where he lived in his Jeep. He had a job that he made $150 a week, and he wasn't going anywhere. He had no ambition. He had no drive. And he was okay with it. And then he had one catastrophic failure in his Jeep, left him stranded. And he's talked about it on the show. You could find the clip. And he was faced with adversity. And a lot of people, when faced with adversity like that, what am I going to do? Most of us have never even been there. Let's be honest. We've never been to the point where you live in your Jeep. You have a shit job. You don't really have anyone around you to pick you up. It's just you. If you've never had that feeling, the feeling of being completely alone in the world, not completely alone at home, not alone at your job, like just walk outside and feel completely alone. Open your phone. There's nobody you're going to call. No one's calling you. With no direction. That feeling of discomfort is something most of us never really even feel. But he changed his life. He turned it around. He has a job he loves. He got himself a little apartment that he's living in. He's sleeping in a real bed. He's doing the podcast with me. And I tell you this because it's inspiring to sit across from this table with him every week and listen to him rant about the world and the things going on in the world, knowing that every time we sit down here, it's a step in the direction for me and for him that will potentially change someone else's life. All he wants to do is make the world a better place. That's all we want to do. I don't walk around with a lot of resentment or anger in my body. I carry the weight of certain things that try not to let get to me. And sometimes they do. Sometimes you just pull over and you just let it out, man. You just let it out. But I would like people to just stop arguing with one another and stop fighting with one another. I don't want to open up my news feed every day to see the world on fire. It doesn't have to be this way. There were days where I didn't even read the news. I'm like, you know what? This is so depressing. I don't even want to know what's happening. I just want to focus on me. And if you don't have somebody like that in your life, I'll be that person. We'll do this show. We'll talk about it. It's fine. I'm easy to talk to. I'm a good listener. I don't have all the answers for you. I don't have all the answers for me. But I can share the knowledge that I have about this life. And when you get kicked in the balls, you don't know where to go, and your life just beats you down. Sometimes you just need a reminder that was yesterday. That's not today. That was yesterday. And if someone beats you down today, if something just comes out of nowhere and crushes you, take today. You don't have to get up today. You don't have to get up right away. Take today and soak it up. And don't think it's because of something you did. Don't think it's because you were a shitty person or it's because of this. And if it was because you were a shitty person, that's fine too. You don't have to be that person later, today, tomorrow. Sometimes you just need a day. I've taken a few days and I've had my ups and downs, and I know that there's going to be more of them. There will be more ups and downs moving forward, for sure. And I will face them as I have all of the other adversity in my life. I will take a break. I'll take a breather and I'll soak it in. Sometimes I'll just sit outside and stare at the stars. What really puts your life into perspective, if you want to put what's going on in your world into perspective, when it's dark out, and all the street lights are not blinding you. If you live in the city, I don't know, go to the rooftop. It's hard to see in the city. Go outside and just look up at the sky. Just stare up at the sky and realize how small you are. Realize that amongst everything going on that your brain can even somewhat comprehend, you are such a small, small, small piece of a gigantic puzzle. And if you can wrap your head around that, everything else in your way becomes a lot easier. Another piece of advice that I take in is to do something that sucks every day. And I'll be honest, there are days where I don't do anything that sucks, where some days I just have a good day. Everything good. From the day I wake up to the time I go to bed, it was a pretty good day. But there are other days where you just need to wake up and do something hard. And it doesn't have to, you don't have to go out of your way. You can do push-ups. You could do sit-ups. You could, if running, if you don't like running, go run. You don't have to run far. Just run until you say, man, this really sucks. And then run a little further. And then when you get home, you've done it. And then the next thing that sucks is going to suck less. And it doesn't have to be physical. It could be anything. It could be anything that you just don't like. If you don't like doing all those dishes, just do them. Just do them. When you're done, you'll feel accomplished. And you can go the rest of your day. And you don't have to do this in the morning. You can do it at any point in your day. At any point. I used to do a push-up challenge when I went through one of the hardest times in my life. I put a piece of paper on the wall, push-ups. It was like a spreadsheet. And every time I walked into the room, I owed myself 10. Do it. 10 push-ups. Sometimes I do 15. Sometimes I do 12. Sometimes I try to do 20. And at the end of the day, I would have a number, a tally of how many I did. How many push-ups I did that day. And then it didn't become something that sucked anymore. It was what I did. This was what I did. And I looked at it and said, yesterday was 110 push-ups. Today's going to be 120 push-ups. I just got to walk into this office. Every time I walk in here, this room, 10 push-ups. Every time I walk under that door, 10 push-ups. And you challenge yourself. And sometimes you're like, man, I just can't do it. You can do it. You don't have to do them all at once. You don't. I did something like, I don't know, 2,000 push-ups in a month or something. I did a lot. I don't remember what the number was. I remember it was a lot. And then I look back and when I did that, and I didn't sit down and do 5,000 straight push-ups or whatever it was. The number was crazy. I was doing hundreds a day at one point. I did them a little bit at a time. And when you break your life down and you just make small changes, the big picture starts to come together. And there's a powerful Will Smith quote out there. It's a video. I've seen it on several of them. You don't set out to build a wall, right? Today, you go out and you lay a brick, and you lay a brick the best possible way you can. And then tomorrow you lay another brick. And eventually you have a wall. But if you just look and say, we have to do this a massive thing, it's okay. If you need to make a big change in your life, make a little change in your life. But don't stop. Don't give up on yourself. And if you do give up on yourself, it's okay. You can start over again right now. If you've given up on your dream, if you've stopped doing something because you told yourself it wasn't worth it, or life got in the way, or you ran out of money. Listen, we never run out of time. You can never tell yourself, if you have ever told yourself, I do not have enough time to do this, that is the biggest lie you can tell yourself. We have time. We just do not want to sacrifice it. We don't want to give up our time to better ourselves. We would rather sit down and watch 3 hours of television than read a book or study something. We'd rather do anything else, take a nap. Just name anything that you do instead of bettering yourself. If you're in a position where you have the opportunity to better yourself and you don't, I want you to listen to this and remember that you can do that today. It doesn't matter if you didn't do it yesterday. You can do it today. You can start right now. You're not too old. It's not too late. I sent Megan a video of Rogan talking about, this was from years ago on his podcast, where people have this number in their head. Well, where they want to be at 30 years old, at 40 years old, at 50 years. That, just forget about it. It doesn't matter. None of that matters. Age does not matter. That number does not matter. You are alive today. You have the ability today to change your life forever. And when she looks at me and says, "Oh, you're old," because I'm older than her, I don't feel older. I feel the same as I did when I was 25. I feel the same. I have more experiences under my belt. I've done more things. And honestly, we've forgotten more things that we've done. We've forgotten more than we'll ever even remember. Like it's gone. We've had days that were awesome, days that sucked. You can look back. You can't look back in your life and go, "Oh, well, on August 5th, 2013, at noon, remember when we did this?" You'll never remember that. And it doesn't matter because your brain told you it doesn't matter. And I remember traumatic experiences, things that I absolutely hated, things that really sucked in my life, that really put me into a dark place. And I remember going through it, but I don't remember that pain. I don't remember what day it was. I don't remember any of that. So don't spend a day trying to remember that shit. Spend a day living for today. Spend today making a change in your life to better your life moving forward. That's what I want you to do. I don't want you to go, "Oh, well, I was mad at so and so yesterday. Oh, not gonna look. Forget it. It's okay. It's okay. Someone in your life fucked up. Someone in your life made a mistake. Someone in your life made you upset. Okay, let it go. Move on. Take care of the people in your life that mean something to you. Focus on those people that mean the most to you. Don't sell your time, your entire life, doing something you don't want to do, giving up time with people you love, killing your relationships. It's not worth it. I watched this speech. This valedictorian gave a speech about, he was found out when he was junior year that he was on the list of people potentially for valedictorian. Didn't even want it at the time. And then decided he was going to try to be valedictorian. He worked hard, very hard, to be valedictorian. And he was valedictorian of his class. And he gave a speech saying he focused on those 15 seconds of fame that he was going to have getting up there to stand in front of his peers and his friends to give this speech. He was valedictorian. He made it. And then he realized what he gave up to be there, what relationships he gave up, what experiences he gave up, just to stand in front of them and tell them how amazing he did, all while probably burning some of those bridges to the ground. And those bridges are important. Those people can be important. Do something you love. Don't wait. If there's someone in your life that you love more than anything, don't let them go. Don't stay mad at them. Talk it out, work it out, figure it out. And it's the hardest thing to do is stay patient, which is what I'm trying to do right now. And it's very difficult. It's so hard. Patience is a virtue that a lot of us do not have in this world. And I encourage you, I implore you, please, please stay patient. I'll see you guys in the next video. That's what I got for you today. I love you guys. Adios.